Happy Wednesday and welcome to the Wolff Den presented by Win Again Academy. Mark Moyer doing some great things with his networking events. I think they're going to have a job fair soon. Check out winagainacademy.com. I'm Matt Wolff, founder and CEO of Ticket Time Machine. Today we have Scott Buss with us. Scott, welcome to the Wolff Den. How's everything going?
Thanks, Matt. I'm excited to be here today and meet with you and talk with you and your audience.
Yeah, we got some good stuff to talk about today, but for those who don't know who you are, just give everyone a quick intro and then we'll get into everything.
How much time do we have for the intro? No, I'm just kidding.
We got an hour for the show, so we, keep it under 45 minutes.
Okay, I'll just do a quick basic. I'm a self-taught entrepreneur, basically was in real estate and mortgage for 20 plus years, formed a luxury private jet company that does your door to destination all around the world, basically travel. We could do private islands, villas. You want to go to Lady Gaga, sit up on stage, you name it. We facilitate, and we're that's basically what I've created, self-taught.
Yeah, so it's a great company, Advent Jets. Check out adventjets.com and information scrolling down below. It's really evolved though since the beginning. When you first started it, was it just a private jet to get from A to B?
Correct. So it was just your private jet, which a lot of private jet companies just focus on. And then I wanted to kind of take the hospitality into it and say, let's do your A to Z, your door to destination experience. So if somebody calls and wants to fly, want a house, a Bentley, a car, or a yacht, we can facilitate all in one. Yep, correct.
And how did you stumble upon that? You were in the real estate, but how did you decide, hey, this is what I want to do?
That's a great question. I never really knew what I wanted to do, being self-taught. This is my first business I ever owned. I always had great relationships. I'm a very spiritual person. I always say you can pick and choose your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your house, your car, but you can't choose your purpose. God does. And so my purpose is I've connected around the world with a lot of people. Some became friends, some became business. And then what I looked at is I got into a niche market. I'm like, I have a business. Let me launch a business around my people. Because most people that are entrepreneurs are like, I need an idea or I need to go get people. I did it backwards. I had the people, had the clientele, but I did it all myself for the first couple of years myself. And now we got about 8 employees. And so we're scaling and growing. And like I said, I built it all organically, no marketing and no PR until now.
When did you guys start Advent Jets?
Fall of 1990 or 2008. I lose track of these dates and years. I apologize.
2008. I graduated college in 98. So 2018.
Correct.
And you were doing real estate before. How did you get into real estate? How did you stumble upon that? That's what I want to do.
Yeah. So I was in the mortgage realm, more of the real estate, helping with the real estate. And I always had high net worth individuals and people that wanted to do different experiences and stuff. And so I transitioned when I moved from the Midwest. I'm originally from Wisconsin. So us Midwest people stick together. They're kind of like the East Coast people, and moved out west to Scottsdale. And one thing that I noticed is the communication and trust factor is just a little bit different than the West Coast. I don't know if it's the surfing or what it is. So I just decided I learned the private aviation, and then being a perfectionist, I took what I've learned and formed my own business.
You grew up in Wisconsin. Did you go to school in the Midwest?
I did. I went to Wisconsin for one class and dropped out. So college is not lifelong, but sports fan I am.
Yeah, another lesson about success without college. I would say you're not uneducated. You just don't have a formal education. So there's a big difference, right? I mean, there's a lot of resources out there to educate yourself, and then you get educated on life. I would never not go to college. It was a great experience of really enjoying life, learning about life, figuring out who I am without a ton of responsibility. I was fortunate to have that experience.
Sure.
Do you wish you could go back and maybe have that experience, or?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I wouldn't change it. Do I wish? I guess if I was going to be a lawyer or sports attorney or, some agent, something like that, school is for people. I'm not saying it's for everyone. The path that worked out for me, have a learning disability, more of a street smart all my life with different things. I feel more diverse than if I was going to go to school and have $100,000 debt. Doesn't mean you can't go to a 2-year marketing program at a local tech or things like that. But I just think when I went to school, I graduated at 17, 18. I was a young punk. I didn't know what the heck I wanted to do from A to Z. So it just, I wouldn't change how my career path went.
Yeah, I'm a street smart first kind of guy instead of book smart. I actually have a twin brother who's more book smart than he is street smart, although he's plenty good for both. But schooling was never big for me. I wasn't a great like remember this and spit it back out at a test. It was more having conversations and kind of learning. And I think the school system kind of fails people, because there should be there's so much, and you hear this from day one, there's so many courses and classes that just are irrelevant to everyday life unless you're specifically doing that. And so I have a vision that there can be colleges and offer programs, and they're starting to do it now a little bit, you'll see, but that are more specific towards business and towards actually the job that you're going to do. And to say, like, I didn't even learn anything what I wanted. Even as a lawyer, you hear people say, I never got taught to be a lawyer. I just got taught how to do law. So there's there's a difference, and some people can survive just based on knowledge alone.
Yeah, and that goes back to like your accounting classes. Accounting's good, but how do you manage your credit cards? How do you take out and pay for loans? How can you make compound interest? What the hell is compound interest? How do you diversify your assets and things like that? Is it hard to learn at a young age? Maybe that back then, but I think some schools or more charter schools are geared that way now. And I think that's why a lot of people from the pandemic, fortunately, decided to homeschool their kids, because they're going to learn more hands-on. But my only problem with that, if there is the social aspect. I would want to be the social aspect around sports and kids and things like that. But yeah, I totally agree.
You got to get them more involved. Also, your parents are biased towards what they're kind of teaching you, and I think in some ways education needs to take the bias out of it. And but that's for a whole nother conversation. How was your family? Were they supportive of you with your education and dropping out and doing?
This is going to take a long time. My family is just me and my mom and I. So I'm an only child. My dad abandoned me when I was 2, my mom. Okay. And so that kind of goes into why I think I took the negative of, I'm coming to get you for the weekend, be all packed, ready to go, call, never show up. I took that negative. It took me years to figure that out, because as a young man, you're like, where's your dad? What's going on? But when I learned different aspects of business, I used that trait as a trust and transparency for my model of communication. And so I took that negative. So going back, you said it was going to be a short answer. So it's my mom and I and my dog. So that's it. That's a tough way to go, but I assume it's giving you some great life lessons. I always say, I learned a lot from my parents. My dad's no longer with us, but from my parents. And sometimes you learn about the right way to do things. And sometimes you learn, hey, I don't want to be that way. And so there's all positive and negatives to say, hey, I don't want to do this. And you learn that from your experience, from your family, your parents, your sisters, brothers, friends, whatever it may be. Yep. And it's good. It's the school of hard knocks, it sounds like. And you can't put a price on that. Being from a single mom, she taught me at an early age how to respect women. Have I always respected them? No. But for the most part, I've always worked with strong, independent women, just because that was raised with me, raised how to treat women.
Yeah. So what was your biggest influence or resource as you were teaching yourself and kind of, you dropped out of school? Now what? Anyone can drop out of school and make a living, but can you make a career? Can you really carve a life for yourself that you want? How did you get there?
That's a great question. I think I just stumbled upon in sales at a young age, and then learning in the mortgage and real estate. I just learned that I needed to help people in some type of service, where the most expensive purchase in life is usually a house, a car, a wedding ring. So if you can build that trust with an interest rate, you might not always be the highest or the lowest, but you're building that trust factor and you're giving people options. And I think being transparent, I preach that all the time, trust and transparent goes a long way. And so I just kind of learned different things. And I feel my on life is to give back. And however it may be, if it's introducing people, connecting people, that's my strength. And that's what I formed a business on, connecting people.
Yeah, the mortgage industry, and it's a tough one. I almost liken it to the car sales people.
Yep.
My opinion, this is my opinion. Obviously, everything on Wolff Den is my opinion. Is that the rate should be the rate, and we shouldn't have to haggle on. Does this person give me this rate or that person give me that rate? Same with a car. I mean, a car is a car. Let's just say and you're starting to see that with some of these Carvana and even CarMax doing like no hassle. Hey, this is the price. But it's like your TV at Target is the same as the TV at Walmart. Why would I ever pay a penny more to this person? So let's make it about actually the service. Now you could pay a little bit more to get the service. Sure. I get that if you feel comfortable the way someone treats you. But that's a tough industry to get into right from the start, where people are a little bit uneasy talking to you from the beginning. Correct.
And going back to mortgage, the rate depends on your assets, your DTI, which is your debt to income ratio, your loan to value. It's just a lot of different things that what's different living in Wisconsin and traveling around is each city, the gas has to stay the same price. Here in Scottsdale, it could be $3.25 and across the street, it's $3.40. So which is kind of weird. It's like, not that some people are frugal, but it's like, if I can save 20 cents and with everything starting to go up with inflation, some people will just say, forget it, screw it. I just got to put gas in. I don't pay attention to the price, Yeah. So it's just learning different things of what you want. I used to be frugal on certain things, but when I want to go out and drink and have a good time, I didn't care how much it cost.
Yeah, the gas is an interesting one too. I won't go really out of my way to save money on gas, but I do try and get, I go to the place that I think offers the cheapest. It's amazing to me how they're across the street from each other and people are still going to the ones that's 20 cents higher. I get it if it's down the street, but it's literally across the street. Correct. And they don't care. Maybe they have something inside to offer. People are lazy. Yep. We were talking about this before. It's not necessarily that people can't do it, it's that they don't want to do it. And then people also kind of just have more money than they know what to do with and don't care about it, which is a great kudos to them. We could have a whole nother conversation about why it is and whether or not we should figure out a way to make everything fair. But at the end of the day, people have the money and they're going to spend it, and so you want to give them the best value for their money. That's luxury. And what you do is you offer luxury experiences, and it's not for everyone, right? Everyone can't afford it. You don't have people coming to you, nickel and diming you. We talk about you and Jason having some conversations. He runs a luxury business too. And the people know that they're going to pay a little bit of a premium for what it is, but they know that they're going to get the service and they can rely on you to give them the experience that they're looking for. So how did you first get these experiences? You can get a jet, right? But how did you first say, hey, I'm going to offer these experiences too? I don't want to say anyone can have a jet thing, but you could buy a jet and you can lease a jet. It's almost like buy a car and rent a car. How did the experiences come in? When did you decide to do that? What was your first one that you ever did? And how did you make it happen?
Experiences happen all the time. It just kind of came into about, I'll give you an example. Some guys wanted to fly from LA to Oakland back when the Raiders were there and go to a game. So we've got them on a charter flight, VIP suite, party, drinks, everything for a day experience. Now that sounds like, geez, that's going to be expensive. No, it was about $3,000-4,000 a person. Is that expensive per person to do something like that? If you got 7 guys, not really. So then I was like, well, let's partner with Jason. You mentioned we're going to be rolling out some packages for some people that want to golf at Augusta. There is very impossible to get into Augusta. And so we're going to put experience that you can golf into Augusta, private chef. We can have a cigar company, hand roll cigars, bourbon. It's the one-offs that people that have money really want to do. But here's something that we also do. We also know people want to fly commercial first class. We can also facilitate that. That's not our main focus, but we do have a back-end travel agent that we can do that. So next year in February, give you an idea, and not to age myself, but like MTV Spring Break used to have those parties. We're doing that in Cancun next year. And not everyone's going to fly private. And so 1 week it's going to be Metallica, 1 week Garth Brooks, 1 week Guns N' Roses. And so that's an experience people want. After the pandemic, people want to get out and see music or do an event or travel. And if you can bring that fun luxury experience together, and it costs someone $3,000 without, commercial airline, and they can stay and drink and party and meet and greets and stuff like that. Or like I said, you could spend a couple $100,000 to $1 million. It all depends on what you want. If you want to eat dinner in a castle, we can facilitate that. You name it, we can help facilitate. So we try to cater to everybody. Mm-hmm.
Well, was there one specific thing that someone asked you to do to add on to the experience, or how did you transition to the experience?
I don't think it's just one incident. I think it was just some of the relationships that I've built. And when they say they could provide this or do this and do that, I'm like, let's put that together. For instance, like we work with a Hyatt. We're doing something with the Hyatt Aruba, Hyatt in Vail for ski package. We're doing something in Maldives. We're doing something for Formula One next year in Miami with another. So we're just doing anything that you can think of. People want to do different things. And it's not just here in the United States. We have clients that will call us and say, hey, Scott, we're not flying private. We just want to know what kind of table service or VIP can you get us at this concert or this and that. So that's what we are. We're more of a luxury lifestyle management company. More people say concierge. I don't like that word because it kind of thinks cheap for me, and I'm not, and so we want to cater to everybody that, sure, if you can't afford the private aircraft, but we just came across great benefits of clients and partnerships and vendors that I work with that just decided to put these packages together. Now we launched our new website a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to be adding to it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of experiences. I do 6-man cruises, which are music festival cruises. I've been on 9 of them, and I have 2 more this year. I'm hoping to get to Hootie Fest in Mexico, which is similar to what you were talking about, like the MTV. I would love to get to the greater experience. Obviously, I don't have the money. Some of it is also the value of it for me,
sure.
Personally. But do you have any experiences that you have done that you were doing before Advent Jets that you kind of said, man, this is great?
I'm a big sports and music fan, so I've always been to concerts and sporting events. But when I started to fly private, it kind of got you. You didn't have to go through TSA and all the cattle and this and that. You can show up. You can bring on what you want. Like Scottsdale to Vegas, you're there in 30 minutes, so you can be at your plane in 15 minutes. So just that experience, I feel, package in with like a sporting event or a Super Bowl or the Kentucky Derby. It just makes the whole experience when you don't have to worry about where you're staying, your chauffeur vehicle, what you want, cigars, you want bourbon, you want to go on a tour. When we can handle all of that for you, it makes like a sports agent, wealth advisor, executive assistant, makes their job a lot easier.
Yeah. So, I always like to ask about bucket list type stuff. And the stuff you're talking about is kind of bucket list. Not that you need to have a private jet and an extravagant experience just for a lot of bucket lists. But some of the stuff, it's hard to get to, like playing at Augusta, maybe getting to the Masters, and then higher end stuff at these events if you want to get
and I didn't mean to interrupt, but we got a relationship at St. Andrews. I'm not saying, there's also spas and shopping. You got to think of the ladies. They like to do different things as well if they don't want to golf. But there's some different packages or people that we can put in touch with, and they can do like one-on-one seminars or custom concerts. And it's, like I said, when you deal with wealthy people, nothing's out of the ordinary to put something together. But if you deal with just the average people, which we can still put a good event together. If somebody wants to go to the Super Bowl, yeah, our ticket's going to be expensive. Sure. But we'll help you put that experience together. And you might not fly private, but you're going to go to LA and you want to go to a couple tailgate parties. That's a bucket list for some people. We'll help you with that.
we've had conversations with On Location. They do the Super Bowl. I mean, how close are you to the how similar are you to what they do with regards to experiences?
So I have relationships that they host, like in Miami last year, they hosted the Shaq Party, DJ Caleb. At the Kentucky Derby, it's the Phillies and Stallion Party, Maxim, Playboy. I have relationships that put on all these different parties, so I have access to. So if somebody, and like just to give you an idea, at the Kentucky Derby, the Phillies and Stallions Party, that is a VIP invite only. And so I have access because the promoter that runs that is a friend of mine. And so I have access to different events that some people, I would say he started his company 20 years ago. There's companies out there that say, well, we can do this, and they're making it more bigger and bigger. But each event is just who you want to see and what you want to do.
Yeah. Do you have an event that was your favorite and it could be anytime before, even when it wasn't luxurious, or lately the stuff that you've been to?
I've been to the Kentucky Derby, Indy 500. I've been to meet and greet country singers, athletes. So I live my life like it's a dream in a way. I love what I do. So when you love what you do, it's not a job, it's a career. One memory I have is obviously you with the tickets is I have a board in my office and it has all my ticket stubs and everything that I've been to. And to this day, I can look right now at 1997 Phoenix Open when Tiger Woods got his hole-in-one at the 16th hole, when everyone was throwing beer cans. I was at that. So that's
a big party, the Phoenix. So that's right around the Super Bowl, right? It's a big party, isn't it?
Waste management that's another bucket list. It's more of a shit show. People come out just a party, but it's something. It's around the Super Bowl, and then 2 years, the waste management will be here along with the Super Bowl. So
that's going to be crazy. My friend lives out in Chandler.
Sure.
And he tells me about that. He goes to it here and there. Not every year, but he's been to it a while. How about something on your bucket list that you haven't done yet that you're looking forward to doing?
Augusta. I want to do something Augusta, and I would like to go to maybe Monaco for the Formula One race. Just to go over there and see it and stuff, because you can see Formula One in the States like Austin and Miami next year. But to go to another country and see something, to travel and explore.
So you're creating these events. Is there a chaperone that you need to provide as you're either flying them over or while you're with them?
Are you asking for yourself, Matt? You need a chaperone? No.
No, I would like to be a chaperone. I'll help you out.
So we can work with people. Like if there's an event that say it's 50 people or 30 people on an aircraft or 60 or 100, we can put people in. If we have that package together. A chaperone, a tour guide. But most people, like I said, they know their itinerary. Bigger planes, they get a flight attendant. They pretty much know because we do all the logistics for them. Their cars picking them up. They know the tail number of the aircraft. They know if security's involved. They know where they're staying or what villa. So we don't really have chaperones. It's more or less the event people that are putting it on, and if they want staff, pretty much.
But how about someone joining these flights to just make sure that there's not chaos on the plane? I guess that's what I was.
Some of these events we have security that goes on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if you get someone who wants to do an experience, you can kind of tag along in the vein of, supervising the experience, correct?
Yeah, but something like that I probably could. I just don't. The reason is because it's when we fly private, it's not Uber. You're not sharing your flight with a bunch of different people. If you're traveling with 5 or 8 of your friends and family, your people in that group. Why would they want who's this guy? Sure, he owns
the business. Supervising and protecting is the assets and the relationships that you have with whoever you're doing. That was just.
No, and you bring up a good point, because if you look at commercial, there's people fighting over masks and things like that. When you fly private, you don't have to wear a mask. So like I said, we haven't really had any issues. We've done some K&R with the government, which is called kidnap and ransom. We've done some transport of gold before. So we would have boots on the ground security. So we're doing things like that. We're actually helping a couple companies right now we're in talks with to help with Afghanistan right now, to get some people, their former special forces. That's all I can really say, to do some flights in and out and to get some people back. And that's all I can really touch on that.
Yeah, it's good to have that kind of access, because there's a lot of different ways that having access to that is good. Obviously outside the government, but
Sure.
people need to get somewhere, and sometimes it's a matter of life and death, as you're talking about.
Yep. And you transition. We also help with medical flights. We've done donor flights because time is the essence. And so we've worked with like Cleveland Clinic, Nevada Organ Donor Network, you name it, Mail. We can do flights, medical flights as well, because timing is everything.
For your business, do you have a menu, or is it all custom? What's the breakdown between,
Sure.
Hey, we do this, we've done this. If I go to your website, or if I have a conversation, you say, hey, we do this, this, and this, or hey, what do you want to do? What's the breakdown on that?
And that's a great question. So we do it two ways. We have like a destinations page. We're always adding to that. Like I brought up the Atlantis, the Cove. We got Aruba with the Hyatt. We're going to be putting a safari package together. Basically, I tell people, you dream it, we'll make it happen. If you have an idea that you want to go to a couple NASCAR races and a couple country concerts, we'll facilitate, we'll make it happen. So we can do pre-made packages, or we can kind of get with people and say, hey, what do you want to do? I had a lady reach out. They're not flying private, but they're going to Montego Bay and they want to rent a yacht for 2 days. So we're positioning a yacht for their wedding for 2 days for 40 to 50 people to be on. So it's all kinds of, so we can do but some people just I want to go horse race, or I want to go to, meet somebody or whatever. So
is it 50-50? Is there do more people do a custom or not? Do you have a sense of where that lies?
It's kind of 50-50. It depends on the individual and who travels with us. Some people, like I said, I think some people have an idea, but also some people don't know what can be done. And when they see some of the ideas and they start thinking, but then again, what does money play into the situation?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you could kind of do anything you want if you pay enough money, but is there someone or something or somewhere that's kind of off limits because they just don't offer that experience that you've encountered?
Oh yeah. So we work with the premium tequila company that we can give a custom tour of the distillery where they make everything and where all the, I can leave that there. We have a custom bourbon company that they give tours, but they will give a private tour to our clients and let them distill their own bottle of bourbon. Wow. And it's a well-known bourbon. I'll just say it's not Jack Daniel's. This distillery taught Jack Daniel's how to distill back in the day. So we have some unique experiences that we don't always just push out there, because we want to engage with the client and find out what they want to do, because we work with different brands that we try to include the brands with. You want to go golf. How many people can bring a cigar manufacturer with a hand roller straight from Nicaragua or Dominican Republic and hand roll a nice cigar with a bourbon,
Yeah, my question was, what can't you make happen? So my friend always jokes when he wants to go fishing with George W. Bush. I mean, are there just things, people, experiences that you can't make happen because they just don't allow that personally? Like maybe it's Lady Gaga doesn't do anything with any, I don't know.
No, we haven't. I mean, I had somebody that wanted to golf with Tiger Woods. It took a lot, but it happened. That's kind of like your one-offs. Now that would have to be, like you said, if somebody wanted to golf with Trump or George W. Bush or Obama or something like that, could it be, or do they not want to? I hate to say this, but influence and money with the right setup, with the right security, the right team in place, all about logistics, people will probably do it.
Figure out a way to make it an event that is beneficial to them and other people. Correct. If I had to guess, if you had to guess, maybe a round of golf with Trump or hanging out with Obama playing hoops or something, what's a cost for that? If you had to guess.
I would say it depends. Probably a couple $100,000.
Yeah, that's about right.
I'm guessing because obviously people can do cameos for $5 to $10 to thousands
Yeah,
of
but
dollars.
that's not personal. There's nothing personal about a cameo.
But the golf with somebody or to meet and greet, some of that stuff is a little bit more expensive, especially if you're talking like Tiger Woods now with where he's at in his life. Will he do that? Or can we do a charity event where he'll sign and meet and greet for 200 people? Stuff like that. But some of that stuff, look at some of the bands. Some of the old bands, they still charge a couple $100,000, $500,000 to play. So it's hard to say because what if there's a charity involved? Well, now you get talking emotional. People are going to, okay, well, let's give back to a charity, So there's different ways of negotiating, putting things together. It's being creative.
Yeah, I have this conversation with my friends all the time. Like everyone says, well, I would never do that. And I said, all right, well, if I have money, it's all hypothetical, right? But if I have money, it's literally sitting in front of your face. You're going to do it. There's a price that I can pay you for you to do it. And there's almost nothing I won't do short of something that's going to, be very illegal or harm someone or, change my life, or I have to, I'm not the same as after. But for the most part, there's not a whole lot I wouldn't do. And it's just a matter of, let's see, what's the price?
Correct.
How much is it going to take? I don't want to say everyone can be bought because there's just something, but it's hard to say that, look, I can't do it. If you have enough money and you're creative about it, I think you can make all this stuff happen, which is really, they want you to do that. And they might, and again, it's not even that they might be able to do it on their own. It's just that they don't want to. That's, they want.
Or they don't have the time or the resources. Yeah. And so people will come to us, executive assistants, sports agents. So instead of making 5 different calls for 5 different things, we can facilitate at one, and it makes, because we work with some of the big sports agencies, sports companies, football teams, with their suite holders, VIP, because some of their executives or VIPs used to be able to fly private with the teams. But now because of COVID, we're putting together some trips and with, some football teams for away games and things like that. So a lot of things can be happened and done, and it can be done affordable as well.
Yeah, it's, man, it's, you start to think about the high-end type of stuff that you can do. And this is, it's about as high. Short of you taking a rocket up to space like Elon Musk,
sure,
is really almost the next closest thing.
Yep.
If I'm a private jet, luxury jet experience company, why should I use you instead of anyone else?
Great question. Because there's nobody out there doing what we're doing. Most of the private jet companies will charge a membership and basically focus on your basic transportation. So we are your door-to-destination experience. We are the only one out there that are putting destinations and experiences together out there. And so that's why I created my company. I built it organically, no marketing, no PR, a lot of hard work, but now we're scaling and other companies are catching on because they're like, people want to do experiences. So I get that. That's what other companies want to try to do, but we're the leader and started it. So that's why I believe that what we have to offer, we have a lot of value proposition. We have a lot of people from Wheels Up that switch their memberships. Nothing wrong with Wheels Up or the competition, but we offer a little bit more in our membership packages that most people don't.
Yeah, there's a lot. The world today is all about renting, which is really an experience, right? Yep. And there's a lot of luxury stuff. So I look at Airbnb. You can rent some crazy houses. I saw the MTV house down in the Keys is some crazy amount of money. I guess if I had enough people, as said, it's not that bad. If you have enough people, it'd be like, hey, let's do this.
Sure.
Turo is the car rental thing. Airbnb for cars. You can rent a Porsche, a Lamborghini, whatever. If you want to spend enough money, you can get that.
Yep.
Obviously with the jets, do you ever think about, sort of not a membership per se, but like, hey, I'm going to pay you X amount of dollars and that'll get me 4 trips. Is that, because they used to do that with the yachts. I don't know how successful they were. Say, you can rent a yacht, right? And you kind of are your owner of this yacht and you can use it sort of whenever you want. But my ex-girlfriend, when we were talking about that, like all the good dates are already taken up by the people who
Sure.
paid more money or whatever. Is that a model that might be something you can do?
So something I usually tell people, we're working with a couple different entities and individuals and businesses that we can help facilitate buying aircraft. So they have the first right to use it. And then what they're going to do to offset the cost to make revenue, they're going to charter it out. So we, like what most companies do, they make you pay $50, $20, $100,000, and then you got to buy 20 hours. What if you're only going to fly 3 or 4 hours in a year? That's why we don't have a minimum hours or no hours with our membership. That's kind of why that is good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So no minimum, but I mean, is there value to someone who will say, "I'll buy 20 hours to you to"?
Oh, they can get
the 4 trips of 5 hours.
Yeah, we can negotiate an hourly price, or for somebody that wants to lease a plane for say 40 hours. And they know the dates and stuff like that. You know, there's all kinds of different ways to negotiate and put things together for a package for somebody. Mm-hmm.
What was the most expensive experience? You don't have to say how much it was, but just what was it?
It was around the world, and it was about $1 million.
Yeah, with different stops.
And the guy wanted to take a year to do it.
A year.
So stay here for a month or two, and yeah. Did it in I want to say 9 months he did it in.
That's a pretty good deal because you're really only flying what 10 times maybe, even maybe 20 times.
Depends on the locations.
Yeah.
Because when he was at a big location, then he would fly private in a smaller car or something. He had just certain destinations, but that's probably one. We work with a NASCAR team, put from a Thursday to a Sunday, 40 different races. So, there's a lot of logistics that go into this stuff. And private aviation, fortunately, with the COVID, it's increased. So business has been very well. So people used to say, I want an empty aircraft the same day. Those days are a lot harder to get or fly in a day or two. Now you have to plan 3 days, 4 days. Usually most people that fly private, they usually know in 30 to 40 days they're flying private, unless it's an emergency or an A-lister that needs to get somewhere. But because of all the logistics and travel, I mean, I had a client that wanted to book when within an hour the aircraft was not available. And I hate to be like a car salesman, but that's just how it's happening. It's all logistics.
Yeah, I think Brent is listening in. There was a lady, she was an older lady who lived on a luxurious cruise ship for like a year and was going all around Europe and loved it. It was a great experience for her. Obviously not cheap, but if you think that and you have the money and that's something you want to do, by all means, that's what people should do. They should live their life to the fullest, enjoy it while they can.
Yep.
You can't take any money with you, right? Nope. I mean, that's a lot of people save, and then they want the experiences when they're older, but you can't really get the same experiences, when you're 70 and older as you can when you're 30, 40, 50.
Sure.
Physically,
you might not be able to walk as good, or if you're on a cruise ship or doing this, I agree. And a lot of it these days is toxic. It's surround yourself with like-minded people. If you surround yourself with good people, I think good things happen.
So you have how many what is your fleet?
We have 4 in our fleet that are flying around all the time. We call them road shows. And then what we do is then we lease other aircraft with the operators that we have good relationships with.
So you own these jets?
Correct.
And so what does travel look like for you? Because it's again, if you go fishing, it's not that cheap to go fishing. You got to get gas and you got to. So what does traveling look like for you? You're not always on your private jet, right?
No, it depends on the logistics of what's available, price. Everybody's always priced. I'm, as the owner, same here. I'm not going to just spend $50,000 just if I can go first class sometimes and not have to do it. I still fly commercial. But like I said, I'm not going to fly economy or coach. I'm going to business or first class, because once you fly private, you get used to that experience.
Where would you like to go? I mean, where haven't you been? You've been around the world, obviously. What was your favorite place to be outside of the U.S., and where would you like to go that you haven't been yet?
I
know you said Monaco, but
no, I'd like to go there. I'm hoping to take Mom to Ireland next year. I'd like to go to Ireland, and I'd like to go to Italy and Greece.
Ireland is awesome. I've been to Italy. Italy's great too.
You already hit 2 on my bucket list,
Yeah.
but
Never been to Greece. That's high up on my list. I would recommend Ireland over Italy.
Sure, and we're Irish
The whole
families.
country.
Yeah, yeah, I'm excited, you know, and so there's a lot of places I want to go. I'm still young enough, I feel, even though I feel old certain days. It's just a matter of doing it. Like I have an event in the UK on September 17th that I'm supposed to go to. I don't know if I'm going to make it over there for that event. It's a lot of A-listers at the legendary hotel. Grace Jones is going to be performing. So I always get invited to different things, but like I said, now with me scaling and getting onto the operations, it will allow me now to travel a lot more for events and excursions.
Is that with the Grace Jones? Is that with Buzz Mode?
That is with, they're doing the Icon event. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I just had a conversation with them last night, Helen and Rachel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Helen and Rachel are doing that event over there. Yep.
Yeah, going to be a great event. We got in on it too late. You connected me with them.
They're good.
So I think like that's a weird coincidence, and I'm like, no, you connected me with them.
And that's another thing. It's I'm in a business. But if there's people listening or out there and have ideas or suggestions, and you want to work together, I'm all about helping. I'm just an individual person that living my dream entrepreneur. It's all about monetizing relationships. Now, does it have to be money driven? No, there could be marketing. There could be this. It could be that. It could be a rev share. You just got to get with some people that are creative and want to do certain things. And the biggest thing that people don't do in business, they don't start it because of fear.
Yeah. Starting it. I mean, it's the number one thing you need to do is starting it and pushing through that first obstacle, because it's tough and it doesn't ever get easy, but it gets easier. And then you're still, I mean, I'm not anywhere near where I need to go, and you're still, expanding, but there's highs and lows, and even the most successful people have that. Correct. So I do agree. Starting it is really the biggest thing. And don't be afraid to ask. I mean, people, I'm a big networker. I love to meet new people and help new people and connect new people. And if you're in my network, you've kind of given me permission to introduce you to someone else. And I would be happy for you to introduce me to anyone to have a conversation. But we all need help to get where we need to go.
And I believe I believe when you work with like-minded people, better things happen in life. That's just me. It's not about the money, because when you love what you do, the money will come. So meeting new people, I think, is always great. Yeah,
Brent will disagree with you, but he's not a networker, even though he networks in a way that he doesn't realize that he's still networking.
I bet you if I was at a bar and Brent was there and I said, hey, I'll buy you a beer, and he's like, oh, okay, you can buy me a beer. That's starting a network right there.
You can't buy Brent a beer. He doesn't drink beer. He's a weird dude.
Yeah.
He's weird. Maybe he'll come on the Wolff Den someday and talk about how weird he is. That's probably why we get along so well. We're both very weird people. I do drink beer, though. You can buy me a beer.
Okay.
But yeah, meeting, getting help. Like, don't big time people. Even the most successful people, they didn't get where they're at without help. And so think about the little guy and the person who just needed that. And sometimes it's just as easy as clicking a button. I mean, you can click a button, take 30 seconds and send a message out to give some props to someone, not be like, hey, I'm not going to say your name because you're not paying me to do it. I'm not going to pay anyone to pitch Ticket Time Machine. Or something. If you like what we do, great. You want to come on the Wolff Den and talk about what you're doing? Great. Someone was asking me, well, how much do you charge this, or how much do you charge on your website? I don't charge anything.
Sure.
Like, let's be partners. Let's work together, and then I'll promote you. And even if we don't, I'm still going to promote you. I promote all the things that I think are great, whether I'm involved with them or not. Now, do you promote things that you're involved with more? Do you spend more time and energy? Probably. I mean, that's just common sense.
But I think we built a good friendship, knowing each other a short period of time. You introduced me to a couple people, so I reciprocated. That's just natural for me. And like you said, people are going through so many different things these days. If you go to a store and people are, I try to put a smile on somebody's face. You don't know if they got lost their job, if they're homeless, if they got beat up, or, they, whatever it may be. So I try to kill people with kindness. Am I perfect? No, by all means, but we just got so much going on, and I try to stay away from the negativity. And if somebody reaches out and is like, hey, I have a question, I owe it to them, because without certain people in my life, I wouldn't be where I'm at.
Yeah. You never know who's that person who's going to turn your whole entire life around.
And you don't know who knows who. I hate to say it, especially with the tech world and the Bitcoin and crypto and all these different things. You don't know if this 25-year-old sold this company for $100 million.
Yeah.
So you can't judge.
I don't assume. I treat the little guy the same I would as because the people are switching. You never know who they are, who they're going to be, who they know.
Yep.
And sometimes it could be a negative thing. You might meet the wrong person and give trust to the wrong person. We've all done that, and it's kind of like trial and error.
Yeah.
You have conversations, you get the information, and you make the best informed decision you can, and try and align yourself with good people. Because if I give you someone who is not reliable and not a good connection, I mean, that's going to look poorly upon me.
Correct.
And we've had some things happen, where you send someone to someone and they don't respond. I'm like, dude, you have to respond to this person. I told them that even if you just say, look, now's not a good time. And there's people that I send you to who I can go and talk freely with. And then there's people that I know would be like, look, I tried.
Yes.
It's tough.
I agree. Some people you have to be a little bit more involved, but it's like, why should we have to do their job? If networking is a big part of sales and businesses, if we were going to introduce you, like if I'm going to introduce somebody, 95% of the time, they're going to respond, because they know that that's one of my biggest pet peeves. If I'm going to introduce people, I'm helping somebody. It's for a purpose.
Yeah.
You guys figure out the purpose.
Yeah. No, I say, they can tell you more about what they do, but I just thought you guys should talk.
Exactly. I agree.
Which is great. I mean, I love doing networking. We're going to be involved in some new networking events. As I mentioned, Mark Moyer with Win Again Academy has some great networking events. A lot of it's in the sports world, but even these conferences, I think the best part is some of the networking that people do, whether it's online or in person, and really get to meet some people that can change your life. Really, just that can change your life. And maybe it's me who changed someone's life. I know there's plenty of people who have helped me. I know there's other people out there who can help me. Just make a phone call or send an email. And I hope that they'll do that, knowing that I would do the same for them. We're all kind of on the same team and just trying to make the world a better place and make our lives better, and also add value. And like you said, be of service to people when we can. So, that's kind of
that's awesome, man.
Goal.
I mean, like I said, I'm spiritual. God brings people together for reasons. We have to figure it out. Some are good reasons, some are bad reasons. But like I said, just the short time that I've known you, to be all transparent, you introduced me to a couple of good people that are probably going to do business with. And I tried to introduce you to a couple of people. Does that mean I'm done? No. Now, are we going to have side conversations and pick up the phone or email? Hey, Scott, did you say you knew somebody over here? Yeah. Hey, Matt, let me do a quick introduction, because I'd rather be friends in business than to have enemies, if that makes sense. And when you help somebody, doesn't it feel good if something happens out of it, even if you don't get money? Even if somebody just sent me a gift card and said, hey, thank you. I don't care. It's just the principle of doing things.
Yeah. So Dugout Mugs is they sent a customized Dugout mug to a couple of people that they were involved with, and it's just great. I mean, I'm all about that. I think it's the little things. It's so easy to really recognize someone and show your appreciation, and it doesn't have to be a huge thing. I've had people talk about, if you send me this, you'll get 10%. And I'm like, that's fine. But I don't, look, if I'm giving you business and that's your model, that's fine. But a lot of it is really to help the people that I'm sending you to and to help you. And I think just, again, we need help. That's it.
And some things that we do different at Advent Jets, partnerships or relationships, things that we do, we will do, like if you brought in and we did an experience together, well, let's do a rev share. why don't we do it together? Why don't, so what's Brett say? He's not good at social media?
Yeah, that's a fair assessment, but he's been very supportive of Ticket Time Machine and trying to elevate us wherever he can. He's a real estate agent, very, very successful real estate agent. He's got a practice with his family, and they do a good job of promoting. I think his sister, who's his partner, he just does a better job. But you have to promote. You have to brag on yourself a little bit, but also you don't want to be like too arrogant. There's so many humble brags out there that I'm seeing, especially on LinkedIn. And I guess I do it here and there. I really want to talk about what is good in the world and kind of shine a light on that. And if it's something that I can do and that I've helped and, share my product, I have to sell, right? I have to let people know, hey, here's what we can do. Here's what we did. But yeah, it's part of the challenge.
And I agree. I think social media in certain ways, like Advent Jets, we have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have, all the social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, but like personal Facebook, I don't care where your cat went. I don't care if you go to the grocery store. If I need to know, I'll text or call somebody. So my personal Facebook, I don't really do much, but like for business wise, I promote and I do things. Now I get pictures obviously with celebrities and A-listers, but a lot of times I don't post them. That's not who I am. If they want to post, let them. It's just privacy. But I totally agree with the social media. Sometimes it's overused, but it's a good way to network. And I'll tell you my strength. What I used many years ago was LinkedIn. LinkedIn was a very powerful tool if done right.
It's the most powerful tool for me right now in the last 16 to 18 months.
Sure.
And I'm going to continue to use it. And we're on LinkedIn right now. I can't say enough good things about LinkedIn. Certainly there's things they need to improve. I wrote an article that got the draft. It saves like every 5 seconds, and now it's gone. And I got to like
You're gonna have to repost it. You're gonna have to repost it.
I got to rewrite half of it because I was in my drafts. I was doing it in an email, and then as I moved it over to get ready to publish, it got the additions I did got deleted, and it was a great article. Really,
that's
great.
Going to be the days when
you're myself on the back. It was a great article.
Good job, Matt. That's the day that you're going to have the executive assistant, right?
Yeah. Well, I still got to write it though.
Well, I know. I get it.
I don't know what would have been different except for I would have waited until the very, very end. But really, as I was adding pictures, stuff came to my mind to add to it, and I was adding. I like this social stuff on the Facebook. I'm fine to see someone's cat. It doesn't bother me. I think some of it is stupid, but I like to mindless stuff. I have a friend who texts me all the time complaining when someone posts, what temperature it is out or their first kid's day is. Brent has some funny things. It's like, look, people are going to do what they want to do. There's enough people who like it. It's their way of really feeling a part of it. But I get it's, some of it is mindless and dumb.
Yeah.
Look, I posted dumb stuff before too.
Yeah, people, and I'm guilty of it too. I've posted, and then now it's like, you know what? Now it's like I don't care how many likes I get or how many people. It's just we're in a self-driven, self-worth world. And Brent, for listening, reach out to me. You're in real estate. I might be able to help you out with some real estate connections, and depending on where you are and things like that, I'd love for you.
He's in South Florida. He's
Florida.
Yeah, he's down the street from me.
Yeah, I'd love to. I saw that he popped on the show a couple times, and I love networking. And you don't want to network, but I'll network with you and see if there's a way that I can help you and your sister and family business.
Yeah, he's still good at networking. He's got good connections. He's built good relationships, and I think he kind of does it. You're always kind of networking, even though it doesn't have to be an actual networking event.
Yeah,
and you're always having to sell yourself, whether it's in an actual sales type of thing like what we do, or he does. He says,
or dating.
That's his name. Yeah, dating. I mean, you're selling yourself. And we had Justin Guarini on the show on Monday. He's
from American Idol,
and Broadway and Little Sweet. But he has a program that he's doing on confidence called Unshakable Confidence. And that's really what it is. It's about confidence and being confident in yourself.
Sure.
And he talks about you're really trusting yourself that, you can do what you say you're going to do and that you're qualified enough to, back up what you put out there.
Sure.
And it's a great it's a great lesson. Confidence is really about the trust in it. And that's what networking is being able to trust someone, trust that they're going to do what they say they're going to do. And there are people who maybe you can't feel like you trust completely, but there's still good connection because they know people, and that's the way they chose to operate. But everyone has a way. There's a lot of different ways you can act and be successful. Good, bad, phony, really in your face about it, laid back. There's people who find a way to be successful with all of that.
Sure. Yep. It all depends on the individual. Everybody's a little bit different. I would say when I was a younger person, I was more conceited. Now that I'm older, wiser, I would say I'm more confident.
Yeah. If you had to choose just one thing to do, one experience or one type of experience, what would that be for your sale? You say, I can only sell one. I can either bring you to a sporting event. I can bring you to a concert. I can bring you to a luxury experience, like a relaxing vacation type thing. If you had to do only one of them and you just have to do it as, this is what I'm going to do, what would you choose?
I don't think I would choose because I wouldn't be having my business.
Oh, but you could do that. If you said, I'm only going to take people to sporting events.
Yeah, I don't know because I enjoy it all. And I think there's so many unique people. Like I might not like art museums, but some people might want to go and have dinner in a museum or a castle or something. We can put that together. Doesn't mean I might like that, or somebody might want to go to a concert that I might not like. So there's so many different experiences. And that's kind of why I created the companies. So there are different experiences for everybody.
Yeah. The networking he's talking about is referrals, which is great. Referrals is a form of networking. So definitely agree with that.
Yep.
Networking groups. The question we're going to have to get you to answer is, if you had to get rid of everything else and only experience something live yourself, would you choose sports, concerts, or something else? You can't go if you say the rest of my life I can only go to this live event. It's got to be sports or concerts. What are you choosing?
Concerts.
Yeah, I thought, I think it's probably concerts for me. If I had to give up music or sports, I'm going to give up sports. It's tough because there's just music. I can do music in so many ways, even just sitting here working and going on my walk and when I'm on the plane. It would be tough. Of course, I'm a huge sports nut.
Sure. Same here. I love them both. And that's why I got the company. But I just think I could part ways with sports a little easier than I could with wanting to be at a concert or listening to music and things.
Brent would pick sports, not surprising. How about do you have a favorite concert or festival you've ever been to, and someone you haven't seen that you would love to see? That's still
I've been to quite a few. I would like to see, unfortunately, the Rolling Stones, but their drummer just passed away.
Yeah.
I haven't seen U2. I think that would be a good concert. Festivals. I don't know. I'm not a big festival guy anymore, just because I don't know. I think the older I get, I don't want to be around a lot of people.
Yeah, you go VIP in the backstage.
Yeah, that's kind of usually my way of going to a concert or an event these days. But I don't really have a bucket list that Fleetwood Mac. For some reason, I've always liked Fleetwood Mac. What about yourself? Who's somebody that?
Yeah, I've seen almost everyone I want. I wanted to see Neil Diamond and Paul Simon, which I haven't, and I don't know that they're going to tour anymore. I always would have loved to see Michael Jackson back in the day. I had a chance to see the Stones, and I had tickets to another show, and I don't know why. There was something about it I didn't go, and I kind of regret it. It's one of the bigger regrets of shows that I didn't go and see. But
Sure.
Yeah, so many good shows. I'm a huge country fan, and so I got Thomas Rhett coming up.
Sure.
I'm going to see Old Dominion and Florida Georgia Line in Nashville next year. I've seen Garth, Carrie. I think the only one I haven't seen is Miranda Lambert.
Sure. And then you mentioned Hootie. So one of my good friends from Wisconsin, he's actually Darius's keyboard and guitar player.
Yeah, so maybe I'd love to get to Hootie Fest. There's an incredible lineup. Bare Naked Ladies, Hootie and the Blowfish, Blues Traveler, Sister Hazel, and you kind of look like Ken Block from Sister Hazel.
Oh, really? I don't know if is that good or bad. Maybe it's the glasses.
No, it is the glasses, because without him you don't. He's got the shaved head, he's got the glasses. very similar to that. He's a great guy. Hope to have him on the Wolff Den someday.
But Matt, when you go down, if you do that Hootie Fest, let me know, because I'll introduce you to Lee, my friend, and maybe he can introduce you and you can get a picture or something, or meet Darius.
Perfect. I would love it. I'm a huge fan of his Hootie and also his country stuff. Yep. It was great. So we'll let you out of here on the same question we let everyone else go on. You got one person that you can meet and spend the day with. They have to be living. You can't be related to them. This kind of was back to the question we had before. Who is it going to be, and what would you guys be doing?
Michael Jordan.
Jordan.
Yeah, okay. One of the best basketball players ever. I think I would just want to pick his brain, business-wise.
Would you golf with him? Would you play basketball?
Well, I'd probably golf, have a couple cigars, see if we could get Charles Barkley to come too, because since he's I think it'd be just fun. Basketball, we're a little bit older. I already know that. Golf, he probably would beat me, but just to have a good time and talk about life and golf.
It's a great choice. He's on the list previously. He will add him to your name. He'll have to bring Barkley on his own. We only give you one, but we're going to do outreach. We're going to do outreach for all of our guests to try and make it happen. I have a feeling that Advent Jets is going to make one of these experiences happen for one of my guests. I just have a funny feeling about that, and really great to chat with you here. It's been great, connecting with you and just kind of brainstorming to see how we can help each other. I think it's going to be a great connection for both of us, which is what the best connection is, right? But sometimes it's one way. There are ones where, hey, you can help me, I can't help you, I can help you, you can't help me. But when you can help together and really collaborate, that's really the best kind.
It's got to be beneficial, but it doesn't always have to be beneficial right away, or money or this or that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, Matt, any of your listeners, viewers, anything that you need relationships or connections with, one of your guests, if there's a meet and greet that they want to do or something, I'll be happy to. Next time you're in Nashville, let me know. I have some pretty good relationships down there as well.
Yeah, Brent, he's fishing with George W. That's where I got that. That's his wish.
He wants to go fishing with George W.
I keep telling him you have to be a guest on the Wolff Den to make it happen. His comment, my friend has a shaved head and glasses, so that's why it is a sharp look. I say not everyone can pull it off. It looks like you and Brent have done it. So appreciate it. Check out adventjets.com. That's Jets with an S. Advent Jets on Instagram, and then Advent Jet on Instagram, and then Advent Jets on Twitter. Just find them on LinkedIn and connect. You want an experience, he'll be able to make it happen for you. And that's it. Anything else you want to closing remarks?
No, I just want to say I appreciate you letting me be out in your world and working together and building a friendship, and have a blessed day, and anything that I can do going forward, just reach out.
Yeah, we'll be talking soon. Everyone have a great day. We got another Wolff Den episode tomorrow, so tune in. Thanks.
Thank you.